For thousands of years, humans have passed down stories of strange and terrifying creatures. We've told tales of monsters lurking in the shadows, beasts with impossible features, and giants rising from the deep. For a long time, many of these stories were dismissed as just that, stories, myths, legends, or the exaggerations of a frightened traveler. But what if I told you that some of these impossible creatures were actually real? Today, we read diving into the incredible true stories of 3 animals that were once thought to be nothing more than folklore. These are the creatures that crossed the line from myth into reality. Our first creature takes us back in time to the island of Madagascar. For centuries, local people spoke of a giant, terrifying bird. They called it the elephant bird because it was said to be so massive it could carry off an elephant in its talons. Now, that part was a bit of an exaggeration, but the bird itself was very real. When European explorers first heard these tales, they laughed them off. A bird taller than a man, impossible. They thought it was just local superstition. But then, in the 19th century, they started finding something that couldn't be ignored: enormous eggs. These weren't just big, they were gigantic, some over a foot long. Soon after, they found the bones. The elephant bird, scientifically known as Epiornis, was real. It stood nearly 10 feet tall and weighed over half a ton, making it one of the largest birds to have ever lived. It was a slow, gentle giant, not a fearsome predator, but its sheer size was enough to inspire legends. Sadly, it was hunted to extinction around 1,000 years ago, but its story proves that sometimes the most unbelievable tales have a basis in truth. Imagine walking through the forest and coming face to face with a bird that towers over you. It's no wonder people thought it was a monster from a myth. Next, we journey into the dense, mysterious rainforests of Central Africa. For years, local tribes shared stories of a strange, reclusive animal they called the African unicorn. They described a creature with the body of a horse, the striped legs of a zebra, and a gentle, deer-like face. When Western explorers like Henry Morton Stanley heard these accounts in the late 1800s, they were skeptical. A horse with zebra legs, it sounded like something out of a fairy tale. They dismissed the stories as local folklore, a mix-up of different animals. For years, there was no physical proof, just whispers and stories from deep within the jungle. The creature was so shy and secretive that no outsider had ever managed to see one, but the stories persisted. Finally, in 1901, a British governor managed to obtain a complete skin and skull, sending them back to London. The scientific world was stunned. The African unicorn was real. We now know it as the Okapi. And here's the most surprising part. Despite its zebra-like stripes, the Okapi's closest living relative is the giraffe. It's a living fossil, a creature that has remained hidden from the outside world for centuries, living quietly in the shadows of the rainforest. The Okapi reminds us that even today, our planet holds incredible secrets, and that sometimes you have to trust the local stories. There are still animals out there waiting to be discovered, hiding just out of sight. Our final creature takes us from the forest into the darkest, most terrifying place on Earth, the deep ocean. For as long as sailors have crossed the seas, they've told stories of monstrous sea serpents and giant krakens with tentacles powerful enough to drag entire ships down to a watery grave. These tales were the stuff of nightmares, featured in countless maritime legends. For centuries, scientists and the general public mocked these stories. Giant tentacled monsters. It was just the wild imagination of sailors who'd spent along at sea. But washed-up remains and strange sucker-like scars on whales hinted that something enormous was down there. Then, technology allowed us to go deeper than ever before. And we found it, the giant squid. This creature wasn't a myth. It was a real-life leviathan of the deep. It can grow to over 43 feet long, that's taller than a 3-story building with eyes the size of basketballs, the largest in the animal kingdom. They live in the crushing blackness darkness of the deep sea, a realm humans rarely get to explore. We first captured footage of a live giant squid in its natural habitat in 2012, proving that the sailors' fantasies were horrifyingly real. We still know very little about their behavior, but their existence confirms that the ocean's depths hold creatures more incredible than anything we could have imagined. The Kraken of legend wasn't just a story, it was a real animal, a true monster of the deep. So, from giant birds that towered over humans, to forest-dwelling unicorns, to the real-life kraken of the deep sea, it's clear that reality can often be far stranger and more fascinating than fiction. These creatures show us that many of the world's greatest legends were inspired by real animals living in places we couldn't easily reach. It makes you wonder what other myths might have a grain of truth to them, and what incredible creatures are still out there, waiting to be discovered. What should we explore next? More incredible modern animals, giant beasts from the past, or should we dive into creatures that are still considered pure myth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more amazing discoveries. Thanks for watching.